A girl lives a normal life with her family, until one day she is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, loses her job, and her family treats her like she was dangerous. Sadly, that's the reality of a lot of people suffering from mental health. But in video games, you are treated like any other person. You can play a character or even create your own virtual persona, and you can more easily find people that suffer from the same problems as you and find communities that can help. I suffer from a mood disorder, more exactly bipolar disorder. If it wasn't for Genshin Impact, I would probably be in a mental health hospital by now, or even worse. The last year was a difficult one for me, and Genshin Impact helped me cope with my rising symptoms, distracting me from the possibility of having a serious mental health problem. The game atmosphere, for starters, made me feel safe. The colorful and stunning landscapes complemented with the beautiful characters' design and simple mechanics that made the whole game turn into an almost real safe space. And I always knew what to expect, even when it came times that the game surprised me, it was always something good and welcoming. The cities are simple but fun to explore, and the world is enormous, inviting the player to explore every corner of it. Obviously, we have to keep in mind that this game is a free to play, and we need to be aware of everything that comes with it. But despite that, it's amazing the amount of content and the enormous charm and work put into this game that sometimes we have to question ourselves, how could this be free to play? My mental instability made me almost incapable of playing a lot of games that would challenge me and with difficult gameplay, including doing more than two things at the same time, resulting in most of the games for me unplayable. But Genshin Impact was one of the few games I could play, also available to play with friends, which I never did. The game is fairly simple, even though the amount of characters and moves at your disposal. But for me, it felt so natural that in the start my only focus was using dash and attack. The game allowed me to play however I like. You could play in the most complicated way using every little aspect that the game gives, and it managed to let me play in the simplest way possible, running around, discovering the world, and sometimes just standing in battle. Even now that I'm writing this, it's surprising how natural the game feels. So much that I ended up playing it for more than a month. I can say the game difficulty is for me surprisingly low, but at a level that feels like you're on top of the world. I don't do a lot of missions and focus most of my gameplay in defeating every enemy I see and discovering the world around me. Then when I feel I can't level up anymore, I go do missions, which end up to be so easy because of the high level I'm already in. For me, the missions were my least favorite part, being almost like a chore to do. But the world and every other aspect makes up for it. A world full of enigmas, with puzzles, chests, creating a chain of things to do. A simple puzzle can lead you to a boss fight, or a chest with nearby enemies hiding. Each different character has a different fighting style. Unique special attacks and different elements that combined can be very powerful. This motivates the player to combine and experiment the different combos and unique characteristics of each character. As the time passed, the game became more and more of a safe space. Even when I was feeling depressed, I would think about the game and it would calm me down. At this point, the game helped me go through the day without even realizing it. My bipolar disorder affected my everyday routine and made me highly dependent on other people, making me feel like a burden and blaming myself for having this disease. But in this game I had complete control and I didn't have to depend on anyone. And I started having anger issues, but the game helped me control them. My depressive episodes were the most difficult, making me want to hurt myself. I don't know. And Genshin made me distract my mind in a colorful way, and made me want to fight my internal demons and to believe in myself. This game even helped me with my psychosis and paranoia. Every time I would start having something, I would, for example, focus on challenging myself in dungeons. The game is like most RPGs, based around the grinding aspect, so I would focus only on leveling up and different ways of doing so. I had to be careful with the gacha side of the game, because it was easily addictive, especially for someone that suffers from bipolar disorder, so I recommended to use it with caution. This aspect of the game is going to be where you get most of the characters and special weapons, so it's a very important, essential part of the game, but be careful with it. You get easily used to the enemies, getting familiar and easier to handle even at higher levels, making me pretty confident. I would usually combine two characters like Hydro and Electro and focus in attack and dash, and then changing the character in between. And with the sequence I got pretty confident and comfortable to explore the world. The boss fights were more challenging, like most games, but they challenged me in a good way, making me see that anything is possible through the classic analysis of running, see their attacks, and be patient. Plus, their designs are really beautiful, making them really enjoyable to test your limits. And the soundtrack sometimes so epic that made me really excited to challenge and explore. This game gives me hope, and even the quiet time is beautiful and fun to enjoy. It gives me time to breathe and relax in a fantastic world, immersing myself, forgetting my troubles in the real world. The warm colors and charming sound design makes me feel inspired. The game was and continues to be an amazing help when life gets hard, especially if you're like me who struggles with mental health. The beautiful characters and world can be enjoyed by everyone, but I believe it could be like an SOS pill for people like me. I hope this video inspires you to play games or even other activities, whatever, to cope with your mental health, or for any other issues, because everybody needs help.